Here we go again, man. It's the same thing every single week. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. But yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmug TV here, aka G-Lauren33. Want to welcome you guys back here to the Legit Shoot podcast. Here with your Monday Night Raw review and results for October 19th, 2020. Hope you guys are staying well and healthy. And you guys see the title. I don't even have to say it, bro. The draft changed nothing. We every year we do this, right? Every year we do this. We sit here and we complain. We say this is what WWE has to do with the draft. This is what they have to do with the Superstar Shakeup. This is what needs to change. And what do we get? At the end of the day, we get nothing. We get nothing. We shake up the rosters a little bit. We send a couple of superstars to SmackDown, a couple of superstars to Raw, a couple to NXT, maybe get a call up here and there, and then we get nothing. We get nothing. It's the same garbage each and every single week. Any hope that we think that WWE might change the way they do their creative, any hope that we think that they might actually make this show watchable for 3 hours, any chance that they make you think like, oh, maybe I won't watch Monday Night Football. Maybe I'll see what's going on with Monday Night Raw. No. They take out any hope of that every week. Any chance that they make you... Because Monday Night Raw is pure garbage. It's pure garbage. It doesn't matter what they do. As long as Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and Bruce Pritchard and all those other yes men backstage are in charge, WWE will never change. It never will change. And the product will never get better. That's why the ratings are at a 1.7, 1.6 every single week. And they stay consistent like that. They don't go back up. I don't know if WWE will ever get back up to a 2 consistently as long as Vince McMahon is in charge. They think that, doing something like having the Fiend and Retribution in the ring at the same time is special, right? But what do? Mustafa Ali, his first official night as the leader of Retribution. And they don't even give us an explanation until halfway through the show. They have him lose. They have his team lose in an 8-man tag match to the Hurt Business. And yet we're supposed to care about Retribution. You gave them a new theme song. You gave Mustafa Ali, a little bit of direction as the leader. And their first night, the first segment of Monday Night Raw after the draft, on the season premiere. And you can't get it right. You fuck up the same way you always do. This company is atrocious. It's that simple at the end of the day. They're atrocious. There was absolutely nothing. I mean this. There was nothing on this show that I found of value. Other than Alexa Bliss and The Fiend. Because I actually really do enjoy that pairing. But other than that, there was nothing enjoyable on the show. It was 3 hours of dreadfulness. I was paying attention more to the Gordos absolutely smacking the Cowboys in the ass than watching Monday Night Raw. I was barely paying attention. Nothing of substance. You would forget that there is a pay-per-view this Sunday. Hell in a Cell is this Sunday, people. Did you actually know that? Did you guys know that Hell in a Cell is this Sunday? I wouldn't be surprised if you forgot. Because Monday Night Raw, they didn't do a good job of telling you that there was a pay-per-view this Sunday. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing to me how this company can get worse. Not better, but worse with a WWE draft. You advertise a Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and Lana. And what does it end up doing? Nothing. Does it do anything for Asuka? It makes her Raw Women's Championship reign look weak. And then for Lana, right, we hear all these rumors, WWE wants to make Lana into a big babyface star. Instead, you have her absolutely get demolished by Nia Jax, put through an announce table for the 5th straight week. At this point, it's not funny. All right, no one's laughing at it. It's unprofessional, and it's disrespectful. That's what it is, right? You have Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I actually like them. I like the New Day. And what do you have them do? Their first night as Raw Tag Team Champions on Monday Night Raw. You have them going up against Sheamus. They're feuding with Sheamus. They're not feuding with an actual tag team. They're feuding with a single star as the Raw Tag Team Champions, right? And right, Sheamus was just feuding with Big E on SmackDown just last week. And then what? You bring Sheamus over the Monday Night Raw to have him do, something new, right? Something fresh. A fresh start for Sheamus on Raw, who has actually been pretty good as a heel. Well, what do you do with him? You bring him over the Raw just to feud with the other two members of the New Day without a tag team partner. That's very creative. Oh, let me guess. You do a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match. And you bring over the Riot Squad, who were drafted to SmackDown. They were drafted to SmackDown. So you insult our intelligence by bringing the Riot Squad over to Monday Night Raw when they were just drafted to SmackDown last week. What happened to having exclusive rosters? I don't give a shit that you're in the Thunderdome. I don't care that you're in the Thunderdome. That's not an excuse. I don't care if there's no crowds. You drafted these superstars to specific rosters, specific shows, and they're meant to stay on those shows. The only time we should see any crossover is at a pay-per-view or if they're on a build towards Survivor Series. Because that actually makes sense. But yeah, you try to insult our intelligence, trying to come up with a BS reason for the Riot Squad to be on Monday Night Raw when they were drafted to SmackDown. You do the same thing with Otis. You break up Heavy Machinery, a team that a lot of people liked. A team that never even got to hit their ceiling. They never even got to hit their prime together on the main roster. Never even won a tag team championship. But what do? Right? You break them up in the draft for no reason. Because at the end of the day, we know you don't have any direction for Tucker on Monday Night Raw. And as much as I love Otis, I don't see him as a main event champion. I don't see him taking that title off of Roman Reigns. Or whoever that, Roman drops that title with, to whatever he does, if he ever does. It makes no sense. So why break them up? But you break them up, right? You put Otis on SmackDown. You put Mandy and Tucker on Raw. Only to have Otis dressed in a luchador mask, right? And try to fool everybody and have him come over to Monday Night Raw to team with Tucker. What sense did that make? If you wanted to continue the feud between Otis and Miz, why didn't you just keep Otis together with Tucker? Why didn't you just have Otis go to Raw with Tucker? Does anybody see the logic gaps there? But no, you'll have the casual fucks of the community say, this was a good show. This was not a good show. And if you guys can tell by my eyes, man, I am tired. And I'm not in no mood to review this shit. My eyes have been dry the last couple of days. I need to go get my eye drops from my doctor. And the thing about it is, I'm in no mood to review this. But we're going to do that because that's what we do here every single week. If you don't watch the show, don't worry. Your old pal, Uncle Fitz, is here. The tribal chief of the IWC himself is here. Go through the pain, the misery, the suffering, just so you guys can listen and find out what you guys miss right here on the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed that little opening shoot. Thank you to everybody that's watching live on the live stream in the chat. You guys are amazing as always. Thank you to everyone who's watching on demand, bro. But, this show, bro. This show. Anyway, let's talk about something positive before we actually have to review Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about something positive. Once again, I want to thank you guys for the love and support. The podcast is growing each and every single week. Love you guys so much. This is going to be a huge week in the podcast. Huge week, all right? It is Hell in a Cell week. Plus, for my anime fans, I got tons of content for you guys. So let me give you guys a quick outlook on the schedule. Big week for the podcast. So you guys have the Monday Night Raw review, which you guys are watching right now. I dropped my Dragon Ball Super manga review earlier today. Tomorrow I have another Dragon Ball video coming out. Wednesday I have another Dragon Ball video coming out. Thursday, make sure you guys are available. I will be streaming Thursday around 1 o'clock. We will be going live with Hell in a Cell preview and predictions. We're going to talk about Sasha Banks and Bayley. All right, one of the only things I'm actually excited about. We're also going to be talking about Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and everything else that's planned for Hell in a Cell. So Thursday around 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we will be streaming right here on the channel. Don't worry if you guys missed the stream. It'll be available for playback so you guys can listen when you guys have time. Friday, we'll see what happens with Sasha and Bayley on SmackDown. I might have a video for Saturday, but I am not sure. We'll see. And then Sunday night, the big night, maybe the biggest night of the year for the podcast, all right? We are going to be doing our Hell in a Cell walkthrough, our watch-along. You guys know I only do watch-alongs for big shows. If you guys want to watch Hell in a Cell with me, I will be live right here at 7 o'clock. You know, I'll probably have some pizza, maybe have some friends over in my Discord. All right, so if you guys want to watch Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks and Bayley, we will be watching that live right here on the channel. And right after Hell in a Cell goes off the air, we will be live right here back on the channel with the Legit Shoot Podcast with your official Hell in a Cell review, all right? It's going to be a big night with Sasha Banks and Bayley, so definitely make sure you guys are here for that. So basically a big week on the channel. Once again, guys, I apologize. My eyes look very watery. I'm tired, but it's because my eyes are very dry and the lighting here has an effect on, like, when I'm in very, like, light, very bright environments, my eyes tend to water if I don't have my eye drops in and I, you know, didn't take them. So hopefully, you know, if you guys see my eyes are red, I'm not on drugs or anything. It's just a medical thing, but I am fine. But either way, we are going to get into the review. Thank you to everyone who live tweeted with me, as always, tonight. And let's get into Monday Night Raw. All right. Well, Christopher Carter says, well, fuckery, it sucks. Oh, I was saying Raw. No, I was right. There is fuckery. Anyway, all right. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. Thank you, Stimpy, for the kind comments. Let's get into the show. Woo. My eyes are watering. Anyway, basically, this show started off very interesting, and at first I wanted to get behind this, but as soon as I saw where they were going, I hated this right away. The Fiend arrived. So basically, the show started off with Alexa Bliss. So there was a new opening, of course. Same thing we saw on SmackDown. They updated the opening with, you know, the fresh set of characters and all the moves they made. And, you know, the opening was set to NF's The Search. You guys know NF's one of my favorite rappers. So definitely, if you guys have never heard of NF, Biggie's, go listen to him on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, Apple Music. Whenever you guys listen to your music, go listen to NF. He's one of my favorite rappers. I definitely think you guys will enjoy him. But he was the opening for Raw tonight. And we saw Alexa Bliss stood in the middle of the ring, and she introduced Bray Wyatt. She and The Fiend, other than, you know, Sasha and Bayley and Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, they've been the best thing on WWE TV. I love this pairing. And I cannot wait to see where they go with this. I'm just hoping WWE does it justice. I really do. Because we all know how WWE operates. Something looks good for a couple weeks, a couple months, and then, boom, it burns. All right, this is a pairing I want to see for the long run. Alexa Bliss is absolutely perfect. She is the perfect person and the perfect character to be with The Fiend. They work and mesh so well together. All right, so I love this a lot. And this is the most invested I've been in Alexa Bliss in a very, very long time. So we've seen the Universal Champion the former Universal Champion comes to the ring. He joins Bliss hand in hand. So I liked how they were holding each other like hand in hand in the ring. It's like a Beauty and the Beast situation there, right? But they look very good together. And they were just staring off into the distance. I was like, you know, they gave The Fiend his full entrance, so I was thinking, what, are we going to see The Fiend in a match? Is that something? But that's not what we got. Instead, we got Retribution. Retribution came out, you know, Mustafa Ali, their new leader, right? He had the new ring gear. I was like, okay, let's see where this is going, all right? I was thinking for a second, maybe, you know, The Fiend and, you know, Retribution joined forces. But no, this was a lot worse than I expected it was going to be. So, you know, we saw it looked like the Retribution, they went to attack The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, but then right before they could, the lights went off, and then The Fiend and Alexa Bliss were gone. So then the Hurt Business came out, and they had a brawl with the factions, and then we come back and we have an 8-man tag team match. Here's the first problem, right? Here's the first problem I have with all this. Here's the problem I have with all this. Mustafa Ali, right? I sat here 2 weeks ago and I said, and I explained in depth why I love the move of Mustafa Ali being put with Retribution, being revealed as the leader. It made perfect sense with him being the hacker, how he wasn't used on WWE TV. He was the perfect guy for the job. But I knew, WWE would not do justice. They've never done justice by Mustafa Ali. And they did tonight. They buried Retribution before they even were able to get started. You gave Retribution new music. You have Ali coming out with new gear, all this stuff, and it meant nothing. We got this 8-man tag team match. Before, we had a brawl, right? And it made Retribution look weak coming out of it. And then after that, we got the 8-man tag team match. And basically, they got dominated by the Hurt Business. And here's another thing that don't make sense. Aren't both of these duos supposed to be heels? Right? The Hurt Business are heels. Retribution's supposed to be heels. So what sense was any of this making? It made no sense. No sense whatsoever. So you have both of these heel duos. I have no idea who to cheer for, because I like Ali, but I actually do like the Hurt Business as well. And then during the match, the Fiend appeared on the video screen, that's basically, saying that he was watching, and you could tell he was unhappy because he was interrupted earlier in the night. But the match wasn't anything special, but this was terrible because the match ended with Bobby Lashley making T-Bar. Still, those names for Retribution are absolutely garbage. All right, worst names probably that any WWE superstar has ever been given. But you have T-Bar, a.k.a. Dominic Dijakovic, tapping out clean the Bobby Lashley. Clean! So 2 weeks after Mustafa Ali is labeled the leader of Retribution, you have his group losing clean to the Hurt Business. So basically, you're telling me Retribution's buried. And to put the icing on the cake, after the match, we saw the rest of Retribution there on the apron, and then we see the Fiend come back out. He appears, right? The lights went off, and he appears next to Retribution. He lays out Ali, lays out Mace, lays out Slapjack, lays out T-Bar. You know how weird it is just for me to say those names? But he lays all four of those individuals out. He was about to hit Ali with Sister Abigail, but the group came by to save him right in time. So then the Fiend stands tall as a video of Alexa Bliss airs on the video screen, and then we got the classic "Let Me In," And like I said, I like Alexa Bliss and the Fiend together, but this is terrible. This is terrible. This is how you open the season premiere on Monday Night Raw? You want us to care about Retribution, but this is what you do. Instead of giving us a Mustafa Ali explanation that we didn't get until 2 hours later in the show, you decide to start the show by having Retribution lose clean. How does that help Retribution in the long run? What does that do for their direction and character? What you're telling me is Retribution will be done and buried by the end of 2020. And Mustafa Ali will go right back on a milk carton, and the rest of those members will go back to being in purgatory. That's what you're telling me. This was awful. This was absolutely awful. And if you think this was good, then you're wrong. Then you're wrong, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. This was terrible. Terrible. I don't understand what logic WWE has. What goes through their minds when they book these shows? You have a new group. You have an actual direction, right? With Mustafa Ali being revealed as the leader. All you had to do tonight was have Ali come out and explain why he did what he did. Even if we already knew. Excuse me for a sec, guys. I hope I'm not coming down with a cold. Forgive me, guys, for that, bro. But all you had to do was have Ali explain why. That's all you had to do. Instead, you do this. And your Retribution doesn't look good coming out of it. All you're telling me is that Retribution will be done and buried, gone and broken up by the end of 2020. That's it. WWE has fucked up so much with this group already. I don't know if they can be redeemed. I really don't. All right? This is not about the Fiend. This is not about the Hurt Business, right? Because if the Hurt Business lost, it's whatever at the end of the day. They'll be fine. The Fiend, we only see the Fiend every once in a while. This was more about retribution. They should have used this as a chance to establish retribution. But they didn't. I really don't understand the decision to have the Hurt Business win tonight. Later on in the night, you had Mustafa Ali cut a promo, and he explained why he did what he did. And it was everything I said on the podcast last week on the Raw review, right? Ali said he revealed that he was the hacker from SmackDown. You know, he talked about how he was the one that revealed the secrets between, you know, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Dolph Ziggler, and how all that time he spent being not featured on the main roster, he was able to sit on this behind the scenes and get all the dirty laundry, hear all the dirty secrets from the WWE locker room, and he was ready to reveal the truth. And he said that if anybody got in the way of his message, that they would be taken out. It was a really good promo. Ali sounded fluent. He didn't make any mistakes. He knew what he was talking about, and he looked passionate. But the thing about it is, you already did the damage. You did the damage. You basically told me earlier in the night I shouldn't give a shit about retribution. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give a shit about retribution. I don't care how good a promo Ali cut. You already did the damage earlier in the night. What you did with Mustafa Ali's promo, you should have done that earlier in the show, to begin the show. Not 2 hours later after they lost clean to the Hurt Business. I don't get it. And the thing is, I actually like the members of Retribution. I like Dominik Dijakovic. I like Mia Yim. Dio Madden, not so much. I know Mercedes Martinez, she's no longer in Retribution. She's down back in NXT, right? I like Ali. I like most of the members of Retribution. But you've already fucked up. And the thing about it is, you look at Dominik Dijakovic, right? He's the guy, he's T-Bar. You could see he's doing everything in his power to make that character look important. But no one cares. Because you made Retribution look like idiots. You've made them look like fools. And you've already told me that we shouldn't give a shit about Retribution no matter what they do. So that's what we're going to do. WWE doesn't know how to go about their shows at all. It's the same stupid crap every single week. Absolutely ridiculous. We had Matt Britto versus AJ Styles, all right? And Styles, I don't know what this is. I don't know if Styles has a new manager or is, I guess his bodyguard. I don't know. So basically, we heard that the big trade, one of the big trades in the draft, having Styles go back to Monday Night Raw, having Seth go to SmackDown. We know that Styles requested to be put back on Raw because he doesn't want to miss his son's football games. So basically, you know, that was the big trade. By Seth going to SmackDown, AJ was the return going to Raw, which actually makes sense because those two are both main event stars. So Styles comes out. All right, so his new bodyguard, Jordan Omagbeen. I hope I said his name correctly. All right, but you guys remember he was the security guy for Raw Underground. Thank God that was canceled. I read a report that Vince McMahon didn't understand what the Raw Underground concept was, and he only did it for ratings. Like I said, WWE just throws paint to the wall because they're hoping for anything that will give them ratings. When they don't understand that the problem is Vince. And once you get Vince out of creative, the chances of the ratings going back up will actually, be probable. But anyway, AJ Styles comes to the ring. He cut a, classic heel promo talking about his return to Raw and how he would become the leader of Monday Night Raw and he would rise back to greatness. I would actually love to see, an AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre feud. I do think Randy Orton's probably winning the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell, but, there are some feuds, especially now that with the draft, there's still some really good feuds that you can do with Drew McIntyre. A Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles feud would be absolutely amazing. I would love to see that, all right? But still, you can do Drew McIntyre versus Matt Riddle. There's another one. But the way Matt Riddle's being booked these days, I don't know if he'll ever make it to the main event scene. But anyway, this led to a match with Matt Riddle. We've seen this match before, all right? This should have been an IC title feud back on SmackDown, but they never went down that direction. They fucked that up, right? They gave it on Matt Riddle's debut night. And ever since then, Matt Riddle's done nothing of importance on SmackDown. All right? Here's the thing I don't get. We hear all this time that Vince likes these guys. Like, he likes Keithley, who we'll talk about later. And he likes Matt Riddle. But the way they're booked on TV, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way at all. All right, so basically the referee tried to get Jordan out of the ring, and Jordan refused to get out of the ring. All right, he first, the ref tried to put his hand down, and he was going to count AJ out, but and it would have been a disqualification. But Jordan put his. I'm trying to make this call really quick, but I don't know what the point is of giving Styles a bodyguard, right? But it didn't make any sense. I don't really see where this is gonna go. I want to get behind it, right? But what I see in Jordan is just another. Hold on. Thing is, AJ don't need a bodyguard. When I look at Jordan, you know what I see? I just see another big man, another Braun Strowman, another Great Khali, right? How many times do we see Vince fall in love with these big men and they pan out to be absolutely nothing? I'm so tired of the big man in WWE because WWE doesn't know how to book the big man. We'll probably see Jordan facing Keithley by the end of November. I'm telling you right now, this is probably where we're going to get. Because a Keithley versus AJ Styles feud, that could be something I can get behind. That could be really good. But they'll probably make the feud more about Keithley versus this big 7-foot man Jordan, all right? More than Keithley versus Styles. I don't know. Like, for real. I don't know. Matt Riddle tried to do some moves on the outside of the ring, try to get some offense in, but every time Jordan would get involved. But Riddle fought his way back into the match after we got back from commercial. Then he did a really good Fisherman Buster into a cradle for two. And then he got knocked to the floor where he got distracted by Jordan again. Styles capitalized on this victory, hit him with the Styles Clash, and got the win. I don't know where this is going to go. Yes, I want to see AJ Styles back in the main event scene, fighting and contending for WWE titles, right? But, I don't know where they go with this whole Jordan bodyguard thing. Styles doesn't need a bodyguard. He doesn't. I find this kind of stupid. But I guess we'll see where this goes. But I don't really have a lot of excitement for this AJ Styles bodyguard storyline. I'm really not. He doesn't need one. Okay, now moving on. We had the Raw Women's Championship match. I think, we were about 40, 50 minutes into the show. Asuka versus Lana. All week on social media, people have been talking about, Lana has an actual chance to become Raw Women's Champion. I was like, yeah, right. Lana posts all these trading videos, all this nonsense. And I also read this report that WWE had plans to make Lana a top babyface in the women's division. What the fuck was this tonight? Honestly, what the fuck was this? What was the point in getting Lana, the number one contendership for this match? You had Lana win the Battle Royal for this? How is that going to increase the viewership? How is what we saw tonight going to increase the ratings? Because it pisses me off. You guys know I love Asuka. She's my second favorite, right behind me, or my third favorite, right behind Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I love Asuka. And I want to see her have a dominant reign. But what's with all these dumbass matches? Asuka has not had a legit feud, a legit championship feud, since she finished feuding with Sasha Banks and Bayley over the summer. She hasn't done it. She had, a little good 2-week thing with what's her name, Zelina Vega. She had a 1-week thing with Mickie James, all right? And now you had this thing with Lana. How is this going to... We know Asuka's great, but how is this going to make Asuka's title reign memorable? It's one thing to be the champion, but it's another thing to have a memorable title reign. Other than Asuka's feud with Sasha Banks, her championship reign has just been meaningless opponent after meaningless opponent, even though I love Zelina Vega. Right? Come on. What the hell was this tonight? It was 2-3 minutes. Asuka did her best to make Lana look good, but there was no chance for Lana in this match. The match went 3 or 4 minutes. All right? Lana lost. She tapped out to the Asuka lock. Like, I was hoping we would get something out of this, but instead we got absolutely nothing. You know what we did get after the match? We had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler come out, right? They blindsided Asuka from behind. Shayna laid out Asuka. And then Nia Jax proceeds to drag Lana out of the ring, put her through the announce table for a 5th straight week. 5th straight week. We get it. We get it. All right? We get it, WWE. You don't like that Rusev, a.k.a. Miro, is now in AEW. That's your fault for letting him go. You released him. You did. And what? You think as a punishment, since you can't, bury him like you did the last 5 years? Right. You think as a punishment, you're just going to have Nia Jax bury Lana every single week, put her through the announce table? I am not a Lana fan. You guys know this. Anybody that's been listening to me for as long as I've done this, they know I am not a fan of Lana. But at the end of the day, it is disrespectful. It is embarrassing, and it must be humiliating for Lana to come out each and every single week and then have to be put through an announce table. Imagine how she must feel. Imagine that. I don't care how much you're paying her, right? Imagine how she must feel to come to work every single day and know, I'm getting put through an announce table by that fat-ass bitch, Nia Jax, who we all know can't wrestle for a day in her life. You guys know how much Nia Jax sucks. I don't have to remind you of it. How embarrassing must that be for Lana? Like I said, I'm not a Lana fan, but it is petty, it is disrespectful by WWE. It's not increasing the ratings. Nobody cares. It's like a guarantee now every single week. Monday Night Raw is going to be a bad show, and Lana's going to get put through an announce table. Legit. Put that on the t-shirt. I don't see what anybody gets out of this. It's WWE being petty. If you guys don't think Vince is out of touch just for shit like this, then I don't know what else to tell you. This was garbage. The match wasn't anything special. It didn't do anything for Asuka. And then you make Lana look terrible in the end. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler have done nothing with those women's tag team titles. Nothing. I don't know why WWE didn't give them to the Riot Squad. Honestly. They're not a team. I don't care about Nia and Shayna. What you need to do, get those titles off of them, send Nia Jax to a wrestling school, and we give us an Asuka versus Shayna Baszler feud. Give us an actual feud for Asuka. Because when we look back at her Raw Women's Championship reign, because you can make a debate, they're probably having her hold that title until Charlotte Flair comes back. Right? Because right now, it looks like we're going to get Charlotte versus Asuka at Mania. I'm hearing rumors that WWE wants Becky to come back after her pregnancy, right? They want Becky to come back in January. So Becky's going to have her baby in December. Vince wants Becky back by January, which is, I don't know if Becky will be ready. Like a month and a half after giving birth, they want Becky back? I don't even know if her baby weight will be off by then. But hey, what do I know? But they want Becky back by January so she can start feuding with Ronda Rousey, because there's rumors saying Ronda will be back by then. Which I don't know if we'll get the match, but that's what the rumors is right now. And for SmackDown, they'll have Sasha versus either Bayley or Bianca Belair, something like that. Like, come on. Even if Asuka holds that title to WrestleMania, or whenever Charlotte comes back, we're going to look back at Asuka's reign, and we're going to see, outside of what she did with Sasha and Bayley, her reign wasn't all that good. It wasn't. She didn't face anybody. She didn't have any memorable feuds. And Asuka doesn't deserve that. She deserves a legit feud. She deserves legit challengers. I don't know how hard that is to do. You have people on that roster. Build them up, have them gain some momentum, and give me an actual story. Stop with these random Asuka title matches every single week, because you think that, you think booking a random Raw Women's Championship match is going to be what increases the ratings. It's not going to increase the ratings. It's garbage. It doesn't do anything for Asuka. It doesn't do anything for her opponent. It does nothing for the women's division. It does nothing for the show. It does nothing for the Raw Women's Championship. Garbage. Stop with the BS. Stop. Give Asuka a challenger. Break up Nia and Shayna. Have Shayna contend for the Raw Women's Championship for the rest of the year. Do that. We still haven't got that feud. goodness. Oh my gosh. And now I get all these text messages about these damn fantasy football trades. Oh, Kevin says an Oscar versus Nikki Cross feud. I could get behind that. I could get behind that. You know, but that's something I would actually like. That's something I would actually like. But damn, this show sucks. Same shit every single week. Absolutely hate it, bro. Absolutely hate it. Anyway. I'm sorry, guys, bro. I got these fantasy football trades, but damn it! Yo, Junior's texting me, telling me to check my Twitter. For what? Well, what? I'm taking time off the podcast to check my Twitter. For what? For what? Tell me, Sway. What? I check my Twitter. Like, Junior, I'm looking at my Twitter right now. I don't see any of this shit. This is what you send me? Some stupid shit like that? Dude used the face app to make me look like a female. Delete that shit. Don't waste my time. Don't take time away from the podcast so you can send me some dumbass crap like that. That's stupid. Jesus, man. Hey. Anyway, moving on. More nonsense with the women's division. We got a fatal four-way women's tag team match, right? So, Nia and Shayna, you know, they gave a promo. I don't give a shit. Because anytime, you know, Nia Jax is on the mic, I just don't care. I don't care, right? So, Shayna and Nia asserted their dominance in a promo, and they issued a challenge to anyone in the locker room refuting their reign as the tag team champions. And remember, they can go on any show they want as the tag team champions. So, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke come out, all right? You've actually been building up Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke for this opportunity, so I didn't mind that. But then, you have a new team, right? Lacey Evans and freaking Peyton Royce. So you broke up the Iconics. Not that I didn't like the Iconics, right? I didn't like the Iconics. But at least their team, they made sense together, right? They were that arrogant heel duo that you wanted to see get their ass kicked. Billie Kay and freaking, not Billie Kay. What's her name? What's her name? Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce, right? They have nothing in common with one another. They were taking turns, you know, trying to take the spotlight from one another. I'm like, what? Huh? This is what I don't get with WWE. You break up a tag team just to put those individuals that were broken up with random other people. Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans don't make any sense with each other. They look stupid. They look retarded. Does no one realize this? It's this week-to-week booking that pisses me off. Why would you break up the Iconics? I don't like them, but at least they made sense as a team. Why would you break up the Iconics just to do this shit? This shit looks retarded. Retarded. Like a team like Naomi and Bianca Belair, that makes sense. That makes sense. This team makes no sense. I hate when they do this shit. I do. I don't mind them being in the tag team division, but if you're going to put them in the tag team division, at least put them with partners that make sense. Anyway, we got the Ride Squad. They came over for SmackDown. I already talked about this in the opening shoot rant. But, stupid. Stupid. Waste of time, bro. So we got this terrible tag team match. We saw Peyton Royce, Lacey Evans, all take turns, you know, doing a freaking, jumping off the top rope. I can't figure out remember what the move is, right? But they all took turns jumping off the top rope. But instead, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan did the same move, actually showing them how to do cross bodies. Cross bodies. Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce can't even do a good crossbody. So bad. Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott showed them how to get the job done, right? Then, of course, this being a fatal four-way, WWE, 101. Oh, we have all these teams in the ring. Let's just have them all do their finishes on one another, one after the other. It's so stupid. So, each person does their finishing move. Morgan and Ruby Riott, they look like they had the advantage. They did Riott kicks on Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. But then all of a sudden, Baszler pulled Riott to the floor and put her to sleep with the Karafuja clutch. All right, and then Nia Jax tagged in and delivered the Samoa drop to Lacey Evans for the win. Not that I care. Not that I care. But that shows you that WWE's Women's Tag Team division is trash. You have all these women on this roster. How about we actually build them up? Let's build them up. So when we have a Tag Team Championship feud, we can actually get behind it. When one of these women actually go to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, we can get behind it. Damn it, bro. Damn it. And this guy, Junior, this is the shit that pisses me off. Junior says, and mind you, Junior has been a long-term subscriber to the podcast. He's actually he was one of the early viewers of the pod way back in the day. Junior asks, why do you watch the show when you know it's going to suck? It's just a question, not insulting or judging you. I am curious. 1, this is my job. 2, I'm a Sasha Banks fan. And probably the day that Sasha Banks retires, that will probably be the end of the Legit Sue podcast. Maybe. Unless Vince McMahon is dead and Triple H has taken over. Terrible. Terrible. I don't even know why I have to explain this to you. And 3, I am a WWE fan at the end of the day. I grew up as a WWE fan, and I will always be a WWE fan. I will sit here and educate you guys. Is that clear? Is that simple enough? I want to see WWE succeed. I don't want the shows to suck. I don't want to have to sit here, lose my voice when I'm tired on a Monday night and rant for an hour. I'm hoping that somebody from this company will see this. Somebody will see this and will actually make WWE realize you need to make changes. Because I want to see WWE succeed. I don't want to see them fail. I don't want to see their ratings fall down to a 1.5 every single week. But as long as Vince is in charge, that's what you're going to get. I don't even know why I had to explain that to you, Junior. I don't know why. You sound retarded, bro, asking that. You've been watching me for how many years now? And you had to ask me that? When you probably heard me explain this 10 times? Jesus Christ! Dude, forgive me for taking the Lord's name in vain. Anyway, Elias performed. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, they advertised Elias having a big return concert. I thought they were going to have Elias, in the middle of the ring doing his normal stick. But no, they had Elias with an actual live band on top of the Thunderdome. They had all these cool little pyrotechnics. They had cool graphics. And Elias actually is releasing an album. Elias actually does make music. All right. He had a EP that came out last year. And now he has another album coming out next Monday. And, he sang a song called Amen. He sang another song called Good Night. I Love None of You. And I actually liked it. I liked it a lot. Even though at the end of the day, Elias, I don't really care about him. Because his character has not changed a bit since he got to the main roster over 2 years ago. And he's not a good wrestler. But still, it was good. This performance was good. I'll give it that. It was good. It was good. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It wasn't bad. All right, but still, at the end of this, Elias, they clearly had, piped in crowd noise for this, like they always do, but it was a little more abundant here with this segment. So afterwards, Elias is like thinking that he's being cheered and everyone loves his performance, but you could hear the piped-in boos, right? Which was supposed to represent the WWE Thunderdome crowd. And then what happened? We see that Elias is about to do an encore, and he asks for his guitar. But then there's somebody playing a guitar solo, and we see Elias is like, "Hey, this isn't about you. This is about Elias. Give me my damn guitar if you know what's good for you." So then we see, and we all knew who it was. It was Jeff Hardy, who was wearing a hood and a mask, and he tried to hit Elias with the guitar, but he missed. And then Hardy kept yelling, "I didn't hit you with that car, man, and you know it." So clearly they're doing this mid-card feud with Hardy and Elias. I don't give a shit about it. I know you guys don't give a shit about it. Who cares? I don't know. I think WWE announced that they're doing Elias and Jeff Hardy at Hell in a Cell. If they are, that better be on the pre-show. Don't waste my time watching that match. Nobody wants to see an Elias and Jeff Hardy match. Nobody wants to see that on a freaking long out, drawn feud. Nobody wants to see that. Like I said, the segment wasn't bad. I just don't want to see an Elias and Jeff Hardy feud. No one cares. Donnie White says, "Why don't you do SmackDown reviews?" I'm very busy on weekends, bro. Very busy, especially Fridays. So I try to, take the time I have to do my little Sasha and Bailey videos, because that's the biggest thing for me, of course, being as big a Sasha Banks fan I am. So, yeah. Maybe there will be a day when I'll be able to do consistent SmackDown reviews. I would love to do them. It's just I'm really busy. That's all. Right? And I do sometimes consider doing SmackDown on Saturday, like Saturday evening, when I have time. I just don't know if you guys would want that. Like, you guys wanted me to do a review for SmackDown almost a whole day after the show's been, happened? That's the thing. So, good question there. Moving on. We had Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods versus Sheamus. So, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods hit the ring. Their first time being on Raw, the new Raw Tag Team Champions. And instead, and I know, right, Raw doesn't have any teams, really, but, hey, make some teams. Give me some competition in the tag team division. Instead, we ran about this last week. WWE should have merged the tag team divisions, and they didn't. They didn't, which was a terrible, terrible move. They had the Street Profits and the New Day switch titles like people that trade Pokemon cards. Terrible. Terrible. But so they had Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They talked about, that, even though Biggie's on SmackDown and they're on Raw, it's not going to change what happens with the group, right? It's just that Biggie will be spreading positivity on that show, and they'll be spreading positivity on Raw, and hopefully one day they'll get back together, which WWE will probably do, because I don't think WWE's ever breaking up the New Day. That's never happening. I don't see any of them. Maybe they'll turn heel one day, right? But I don't ever see them break up as a group. Vince loves New Day too much. So then Sheamus interrupted their promo, and, it was nothing special here. I just hated this because you have the Raw Tag Team Champions. Instead of booking them in a feud, right? You could have booked them with Morrison and Miz for all I care. At least that's a feud. Instead, you feud them with Sheamus, who is a singles competitor. So you have your Raw Tag Team Champions feuding with a singles competitor who doesn't have a tag team partner, who's not in a tag team at the moment, right? And then Sheamus, who was just feuding with Biggie on SmackDown, now he's on Monday Night Raw feuding with the other two members of the New Day. Nice. So creative. That's what the draft was for, right? That was what the draft was for. Freaking ridiculous, bro. Absolutely crazy. And I'm seeing you guys in the chat. You guys saying you guys do want SmackDown reviews. Maybe I got to make something happen. Maybe I do. Maybe we'll have to do, all right, everybody in the chat, if you're watching this, if you guys are watching live right now, if you guys want SmackDown reviews on Saturdays, like Saturday evenings, if you guys do want that, all right, make sure, put a thumbs up right now or say yes something right now. Tell me in the chat right now as I continue on with the review. And I'll actually consider doing Saturday Night SmackDown reviews. If you guys actually, I need to see like a lot. I don't want to see just 2 or 3 people. I need to see like a lot. I'm not going to do a SmackDown review for like what? Only a couple of you guys to join on a Saturday night when I can be doing other things. Ridiculous, bro. So, then, basically, they had Big E, right? So, Big E was in the Thunderdome. They had all these legends in the Thunderdome. Like, you had JBL, you had Ric Flair, you had Booker T. Like, they were going to be the ones to bring up the ratings. They didn't do shit for this show. All I see is just another guy in the Thunderdome on a virtual screen. I don't care if it's Ric Flair. I don't care if it's Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock. Who cares? Doesn't do anything in the show. You tried advertising Stone Cold and Goldberg to be in the Thunderdome on SmackDown, and people thought they were actually be in the arena. No. Terrible, bro. They're only appearing there because WWE's paying them to be there. Anyway, there was something they talked about something like Johnny Appleseed. I don't know what the hell it was. I like the New Day, but I just couldn't get behind this at all. So we got a match between Kofi Kingston and Sheamus. This is the first time we've actually seen these two one-on-one on Monday Night Raw in almost a decade. Back when Raw was actually good. Back in the good old days when we had Randy Orton and John Cena and CM Punk and the Nexus. Back when I actually loved Monday Night Raw every single week. When I was a kid and I didn't know any better. But anyway, this was actually a decent match. Not surprised. It's Kofi Kingston and Sheamus. They're really good at what they do. And Kingston won with a Trouble in Paradise. So a good win there. Don't know where they go, but I don't really care. And another thing that didn't make any sense. We had, I'm looking in the chat, you guys saying yes, 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 yes. You guys are like, Daniel Bryan, yes, yes, yes. I guess I might have to do SmackDown reviews on Saturday nights. All right, I'll try them. If you guys show support for them, we will do Saturday Night SmackDown reviews. Live right here on the channel. We'll try them. But I guess you guys asked for it, I delivered. But we had Tucker and Gordo versus The Miz and John Morrison. This was Otis behind the mask. WWE insulting our intelligence once again. So Tucker didn't like how Miz and Morrison were breaking him up from his best friend, how they were messing with their lives. And then Miz Morrison said, oh, okay, what are you going to do about it? And Tucker was like, I'm going to find a partner and we'll beat you in the ring tonight. So then Otis appears as Gran Gordo, whatever you want to call him, right? Basically, I knew it was Otis the second I saw him. And I was like, why did you break up Heavy Machinery if this is what you were going to do all along? What was the point? What's the point? Are you going to trade Tucker back over to SmackDown? Is that what's going to happen? Tucker is not going to survive by himself on Raw. He's not. Otis, I don't know. But Tucker will be in catering, fighting for the 24/7 championship before you know it. I don't know why no one understands that. Miz cut a huge promo on Otis talking about, how he's an embarrassment to Money in the Bank, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about this feud. And then we got the match. Otis hit the Caterpillar and, his splash for the win. So Heavy Machinery gets the victory here. Tucker and Gordo defeat The Miz and Morrison. Backstage, we had Mandy Rose kissing El Gran Gordo, a.k.a. Otis, and they celebrated with the New Day. Insulting our intelligence once again. Ridiculous. Terrible. Next up, Keithley and Braun Strowman. And I'm about to go an hour, so I'm trying to end this quickly, guys. Sorry. But, Keithley versus Braun Strowman. So you bring over Braun Strowman, right, to have this big feud with Keithley because WWE thinks it's box office. Instead, what we get here? We got about a 4 or 5 minute clash. Wasn't anything special. And then what happens? Braun Strowman headbutts, and gives Keithley a low blow, and then wins with a what was it called? A big boot to the face. And he actually gets the pin because of the low blow. After the match, we see Keithley. He gives Strowman a low blow himself. And, you know, I like the intensity from Keithley here. But this was terrible. Keithley should not be losing. I don't give a shit if it's a low blow or not. Keithley should not be losing. Same thing with Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle's taking L's. WWE, Vince McMahon claims that he cares about Matt Riddle. He claims about Keithley. He claims about these NXT guys. But he doesn't book them correctly. He never does. He books them like shit. I don't get it, bro. How can you claim that you care about somebody and then just book them like this? This makes no sense. We'll probably see a rematch on Hell in a Cell or next week. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about Braun Strowman. Used to be building up Keithley to be in the WWE Championship picture. Legit. It's sad that WWE doesn't even know how to book a big man versus big man feud anymore. The only thing I liked about this was Keithley's intensity. That was it. All right, we had Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was revealed to be in the Firefly Funhouse, making her first appearance. Like I said, I like what they're doing here with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, and I'm actually excited for their partnership. I like finally seeing somebody other than all those puppets, seeing a real-life human being in the Firefly Funhouse. I like that a lot. Can't wait to see where they go with that. And the last thing, Randy Orton. Randy Orton cut a promo. You know, I've said for weeks I don't really care about this feud. I like Randy Orton, I like Drew McIntyre, but after Clash of Champions, it makes no sense for this feud to be going to Hell in a Cell. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how much I like the two. It doesn't make any sense. Either way, Randy Orton cut a really good promo. Nothing surprising. It's Randy Orton. I just wish I could care a little bit more. Orton, he locked himself inside the Hell in a Cell. All right. He used a steel cage, and he basically had the cell lowered. He talked about his history inside the structure, all his rivals, all his enemies, and how, you know, he's gained a lot of people. He gained the Undertaker's respect. His battles with Daniel Bryan and John Cena and Jeff Hardy. You know, I was surprised to hear Randy Orton's been in 8 Hell in a Cell matches. All right, but it was a good promo. Drew McIntyre comes out, and, you know, Orton says, you're going to have to wait till Sunday. But Drew McIntyre was a step ahead of Orton. He had boy cutters, and he was able to get himself inside the Hell. And the show went off the air before we saw McIntyre and Orton brawl, which I don't think they probably didn't brawl because, you know, there's no point. There's no crowd there. Why would they have a pointless brawl off screen? But either way, that was it. That was it. I know Titus O'Neil tried to join the Hurt Business, but I don't care. I would, you know, it would actually be some direction for Titus O'Neil, but, you know, instead the Hurt Business beat him down backstage. So I wasn't even gonna mention it until you mentioned it, dog. But either way, other than that, the show was garbage. The draft has changed nothing, other than the Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt stuff. That was the only good thing on the show. There was nothing else. Nothing. I don't give a shit about any of this garbage. Any. Monday Night Raw, the draft hasn't changed nothing. Arguably the worst season premiere of Monday Night Raw ever. And they deserve it. They deserve the 1.6 that they're going to get in the ratings tomorrow. It's that simple. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining me on the podcast. I'm going to get out of here. I need to go to my car and grab my eye drops because my eyes are burning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me ranting. I don't want to do it, but I have to. Like I said, it's going to be a big week on the podcast. All right? Make sure to be here Thursday. Thursday for the Hell in a Cell preview and prediction show. That will be about 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific. You guys are telling me that you guys want SmackDown reviews, so maybe Saturday night. All right? We'll try it. If you guys show support and you guys show up to the SmackDown reviews, I will keep doing them. If you guys don't show up, I won't do them. All right? It's that simple. But we'll most likely do a SmackDown review on Saturday when I have time. But I will talk about whatever happens with Sasha and Bayley like I always do Friday night. And Hell in a Cell this Sunday. Make sure to join me, guys. We will be watching Hell in a Cell live right here on the channel. I'll be doing a watch-along stream. So you guys have the network, you guys can watch the show live with me. And right after the show goes off the air, right here on the podcast, we will have the Sasha and Bailey and full Hell in a Cell review. Thank you guys for the love and support. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed the podcast. As always, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Hit the bell next to my name, FitzTV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Make sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast and the stream. Stay safe and healthy, y'all. I'll see y'all later this week, God willing.